Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Carrie Siggins, CEO of StoneAge, and I'm also a commissioner on Governor Polis's Commission for Employee Ownership. And I am so excited to be interviewing my fellow commissioner, Doug Dell, today. Doug, welcome.
Hi, Carrie. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Let's start off by learning a little bit about you. In 60 seconds, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. Well, Doug Dell's the name. I manage the commercial banking group for Key Bank in Colorado. And one part of our business is to provide financing for companies whose owners are looking to transition their business to employee ownership. So my practice is focused on employee stock ownership plans, or ESOPs. And ESOP rules and regulations can be technical, so not many banks do have a focus in that area. But if you have an experienced lender who can guide you through the transaction, it's a successful outcome. And for me, I personally appreciate working with ESOP companies because I'm dealing with the founders and the owners who are looking to have their own transition event and liquidity plan. I'm dealing with management who is responsible for continuing the operations of the company and paying the bank back, which is important. And also the employees who now have a retirement plan that they didn't have before. So it's exciting in a lot of respects.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So tell us why you're so passionate about employee ownership.
Sure. Well, I became involved in employee ownership as a CFO for a manufacturing company. And then I joined the investment banking firm that specialized in employee ownership transactions. So I helped employee owners, or I helped owners create and execute their own succession plan and ultimately help the employees then that benefited from that. So, that's a big part of the passion, but there's a lot of aspects about the ESOP structure I like. Just to name a few, an ESOP is one of the few ways an owner can sell a minority interest in the business and still retain control of the company. And if he wants to sell or she wants to sell 100% of the company, there's lots of tax benefits that they can take advantage of by selling to an employee-owned company. And it's great for the employees because they're now participating in a retirement plan that they didn't have before. And they've got pride of ownership, and through their productivity increases, they're actually increasing the value of their retirement and their ownership. And I'll say that communities benefit. If an employer were to sell his business to a strategic buyer or to a financial buyer, it's likely that there's going to be jobs lost. They're going to combine with other portfolio companies or maybe move the location. But if you sell to your employees, those jobs are going to stay local. And that's why Governor Polis really started this commission to help our local economy. And finally, what I'll say is, from a social equity aspect, now you have average Americans who have an opportunity to have stock ownership and own their companies and build wealth besides just their paycheck.
That's great. That's great. So when did you join the commission and why?
So I was thrilled to be asked to join the commission by Governor Polis when he formed it in July of 2019. Myself and some CPAs and attorneys and other financial advisors had been speaking on the topic of employee ownership, but bringing this group together really helps us focus and organize that marketing effort. We can take advantage of the state's media resources, their advisory services, and we can also recommend policy changes that help ESOPs. And I get to work with strategically focused folks like you, Carrie, that love employee ownership.
Oh, thank you. I love working with you too.
Thanks.
All right. And if there was one thing that you would want people to know about employee ownership, what is it?
The one objective or the one objection that comes to mind when I talk about employee ownership is people say, how can you get anything done when you have all of your employees as owners? How is that productive? And I tell them it really doesn't work that way. The stock that the employees get, it's allocated over a number of years into a trust account. They're not responsible, or they're not asked to make management decisions. A trustee actually votes their shares if there's a board decision. The employees, you don't actually have to give them financial information. All you're required to do is show them the valuation of the company every year. Now, however, it is a best practice to give your employees financial information, or at least high-level information, so they can figure out ways to improve productivity and profitability. But it's much more efficient than people think on the outset.
I'm so glad you gave that answer. As a CEO of an employee-owned company, I'm often the same thing. Like, how do you get anything done? Doesn't it move so slow? And it's like, people don't. You should run it like a regular company. It's not like it's any different.
You're right. Exactly.
Oh, all right. Well, Doug, thank you so much for joining me today for this interview. It's been a pleasure to get to know you better.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.